Welcome. In this module, we're going to talk about maintenance, monitoring, and analysis of audit logs. And as we know, audit logs or logs which are generated from network devices, from systems, from servers, from workstations, or any type of IT asset are a very, very useful mechanism when they are stored on a syslog server or a logging server. These logs form a history and they provide detail whenever there is an incident or whenever there has been abuse or misuse or whenever we want to look, or there may even be a disruption of the IT network. So whenever we want to go back and see what has happened, if there's been a violation of policy, for example, and a user has overstepped their privilege, which has been assigned to them, we can always go back to the logs and try to track that what happened, who logged in, which resource did the user try to access, which was in violation of the security policy. So in effect, whenever there is a violation of a policy, whenever there is an incident, whenever there is an attempt for abuse or misuse, or there may even be a fraud which has been committed, and the information security team or the audit team has been tasked to go back and look and trace what has happened, who violated the policy, or even if there has been an attack, a hacking attempt, the IT team and the information security team or the incident management team, they need to go back and trace all the logs and try to connect and find out that what actually happened in the network. And that's why the audit logs leave a trail for us, and they provide all the detail into what actually happened. Now, this is just to provide perspective again on the top 20 CIS critical controls. As you can see, this is version 7, which is the latest version, and it has been broken up into 3 groups: basic controls, which are 6 in number, and then there are foundational controls, which are 10 in number, and then there are organizational controls, which are 4 in number. So basically, the top 6 controls, which are in the light blue on your left of your screen, these are the most important ones, which provide the most return on effort. And these should be done first, and then the foundational controls are all very important as well. And of course, all the 20 controls put together, they provide an excellent mechanism for security engineering. Now, I'd like to mention here again that these CIS top 20 critical controls are implemented as part of the security engineering layer in the 4-layer security transformation model, which Delta Tech, my company, also uses in our practical consulting assignments, which we use to transform the security of the customer organizations. Now, going ahead, we have now reached control number 6, which is maintenance, monitoring, and analysis of audit logs. And as you can see, control 6.1 tells us utilize 3 synchronized time sources. So synchronized time sources is really referring to NTP or network time protocol. And these are set up as time sources so that your routers, switches, servers, and all of your IT assets can pick up the centralized time from these synchronized time sources or NTP network time protocol sources. And all the audit logs should have the same timestamp. And the systems, the system time should all be synchronized throughout the IT network. So if there's a difference in the time stamp on the logs or on the systems, what actually happens is that we are not able to trace what actually happened in a specific time window because the time is off. And the control says use at least 3 synchronized time sources from which all servers and network devices retrieve time information on a regular basis so that timestamps in logs are consistent. Moving on to control 6.2, activate audit logging. So here the control says ensure that local logging has been enabled on all systems and networking devices. So there's a local log which is generated on that device, on the memory of that device or on that server, and we should enable that as well. Control number 6.3 tells us enable detailed logging. So enable system logging to include detailed information such as an event source, date, user, timestamp, source address, destination address, and other useful elements. Now, control number 6.4 tells us ensure adequate storage for logs. So based on the regulatory environment, for example, or based on our own needs, we need to decide that how long are we going to keep the logs, and how long are you going to keep them on the local device or on a centralized storage or a centralized syslog server or a security information event management server or a logging server. And if the regulatory requirement, for example, from the central bank or from the telecom regulatory authority, which is, for example, Pakistan Telecom Authority, PTA, or any other regulatory body, if it requires you to keep logs of 1 year, for example, then you need to look at how much storage space the logs require, and there should be sufficient storage available. And if there is not sufficient storage available, then what happens is that the logs get rewritten over and over. It's similar to what happens in the world of the surveillance cameras. If there's not enough storage space, the videos get overwritten, and here also, the logs will get overwritten. That's all that we have for this module. See you in the next module. Thank you.